If you are the mom, the aunt, the cousin, the grandma, the sister, the friend of a black male who is of voting age, I desperately need you to watch this video. If you're not, you can keep scrolling. But if you are, I need you to watch this video and I need your advice. I am a mother of a 24-year-old, handsome black male who lives down the south. I live up north, but he grew up in a very, you can call it liberal household. My household has always, including my husband, he grew up with a man in the household, a male role model. Both of us are educated. We've always advocated and been activists for the rights of marginalized and oppressed people, to include people of black, brown, Muslim, Asian, people with disabilities, LGBTQIA, etc., etc., etc. We've talked about rights as we have a nonprofit. We do lots of things in the community that supports the politics and the policies of Vice President Kamala Harris. I even remember the day that Barack Obama won the election in 2008, and my son was 8 years old. And the very next day he got up and put on a suit and tie. He wanted to wear that to school because he saw himself in that moment that he could be the president of the United States. However, in the past several months, he has been giving me strong indications, although he has not said it out loud, that he wants to vote for a former president, Donald Trump, in this election. We are constantly talking him off of that ledge. We are constantly defending Vice President Kamala Harris and reinforcing what we experienced under the oppressive conditions, the police brutality, etc., that we experienced under the presidency of Donald Trump. We have to continue to reinforce Project 2025 and what that's going to mean for him as a black man in the future. But for some reason, about once a week, we have to talk him off that ledge. I'm not sure what's going on with our young black man. He grew up in a very privileged household. He has had all of his needs met, and maybe because he hasn't had to go a day without health care, he hasn't had to go a day without food and his basic necessities. If his human rights or his educational rights or whatever rights that he is entitled to has ever been breached, we have always been there to advocate for him. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe that privileged life that he has experienced of a young black man has somehow aligned with Donald Trump's privilege. And somehow he sees himself more in him than he does Vice President Kamala Harris. But more importantly, not more importantly, but what really keeps me up at night is that as a black woman, I have always made it a priority to show him the strength of a black woman. I started out as a single mother with him. I went to law school with him. His first day of kindergarten was my first day of law school. So he witnessed me struggle through law school. He witnessed me even after I graduated, started making salaries, the struggle and my rise and my fight through many things throughout my life. And to not see that same strength and determination in another black woman, it has me down. It has me disappointed. It has me wondering, where did I go wrong? Where did my household go wrong? Why am I having to have these conversations? These are just not conversations that I ever pictured having with any child of mine. With anyone, honestly, that shares my bloodline of people. The whole family has advocated for civil rights. I come from Montgomery, Alabama. My whole family was involved in some sort of civil rights movement throughout history. So if you are, again, a black mom, sister, cousin, aunt, whatever, friend, grandma, and you're having to have these same conversations, just let me know. Let me know I'm not alone. Let me know what you're doing, how you're having these conversations, how they're going for you. I need some support, y'all. I do. I need some support. But let's get this done. Let's get this done.
So let me first start off by saying that I always like to give credit to the content creators. So their profile and their information will be linked down in the description. Also, Teach Hanley 40% off your first order plus 20% off a Life Phenomenal product. And then make sure that you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Last but not least, come and kick it with me in person. All of my information is down in the description for you to get your tickets. Discount code Anton. You know what it is. All right, so let's get into her video, right? I don't want to make this long. We just going to address the issues. Number one, we are not our grandparents. We have not subjected ourselves to just being programmed to align with the Democratic Party just because. And so a lot of times we are starting to wake up. Thank God her son, who they've basically raised to be subjected to and to be aligned with feminism and simping and the LGBTQ and the alphabet community and all of this other nonsense. Listen, at the end of the day, we are human and we are people. And what's best, a rising tide lifts all boats. So all they're preaching is more racism, more divisiveness. And if you've seen a white person have this exact same conversation and talk online about how they are trying to talk their kid off the ledge from aligning with somebody just based off of policy instead of based off of identity politics, you would call them racist. And very much so, we are raising another nation and trying to raise another generation of men to basically be son husbands, to be simps, and perhaps him seeing himself raised in an environment in which, yeah, he was probably coddled, or maybe you did what you were supposed to do. And it's not that he was privileged, is that he was, he got what he deserved, and that no kid deserves to be raised in a ghetto or to be suffering and all of this other stuff. But the very same America that you're railing against is the thing that blessed you to be able to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and then give him the life that he deserved. And maybe, just maybe, the idea of thinking for yourself and being your own man is the thing that we're supposed to do, regardless of what your party politics is. You should be able to substantiate your own argument. And the fact that they're trying to talk him off a ledge, aka influence him as a 24-year-old man, means that he's waking up and realizing that he is not his parents, he is not his grandparents, he is not his great grandparents. And the Montgomery, Alabama that you speak about, while we can look at history and say, yep, I got that, doesn't necessarily mean that that's a reflection of where we at in 2024. And so I am so proud. I am very much proud of our black men from learning how to get off of the Democratic plantation and no longer align yourself with the party politics of your parents and your grandparents just because, and to think for yourself and to realize that your opportunities. And she wanted to talk about oppression. What? Police brutality, oppression? You telling me you got beat up by the police, you got arrested in 2016, 17, 18, 19, something like that? This is amazing. Listen, keep going, black man. Keep going. It's the real fight is within yourself to let go and release yourself of the obligations of the people that came before you for things that they were racist and wrong about, and to wake up and to jump off the ledge and stop letting them talk you off the ledge, because it's freedom in that fall, because you're going to fly. You're going to absolutely fly. You're going to win, and you're going to think for yourself, and you're going to win in every single thing that you ever do in life. And it's not going to be that it's easy. It's not going to be that it's great all the time, but the growth is what makes you a man. The failures forward is what makes you great. Keep going. No longer aligning with the Democratic Party just because that's the party of your parents and your mama. And it sounds like, and I'm always gonna try to be respectful. This woman seems like a great woman. She seems like she's well read, and she can articulate herself just fine. It sounds like the other influence inside her household, as she described on here, I'm not gonna go into it. Y'all know what it is. Y'all tap in with the Patreon. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Are more black men, and why are they waking up from? Continue on the line with the Democratic Party. I love you. I appreciate you. Can't wait to read y'all comments.